What makes you think he was blind, sir? Did you see a blind man on the highway that day?
Of course not. You and I both know I was miles away from here when Carl died. But I do have a little medical training. You can tell by looking at him. Cast in his eyes, the way he moves. But don't take my word for it. Read a few pages of this, will you, Mr. Morris? Just start anywhere, would you please?
Always pack a bulky sweater and some heavy underwear. Even in the spring, the mountains can get pretty cold at night.
Yeah, read that.
Surely it is the most beautiful of all sports.
He's blind.
Mr. Morris?
Stay.
That's right, Doctor. That man that you saw was blind. And is blind. This is Daniel Morris. That's the man that you saw on the road Monday afternoon. This other man is his brother, David. I'm sure you can see the problem, sir. There is no way in the world that you could have assumed that this man, this witness, was blind unless, of course, you had seen this man that day. That's the only way you could have known. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have an eyewitness, Dr. Collier. An eyewitness that will place you at the head of the Donna driveway at 5:30 Monday afternoon. But the eyewitness is not Mr. Morris. The eyewitness is you. We push the play button. And we attach the wires here and here. Where I showed you those scratches, sir.
Preposterous nonsense.
Now, the killer knows when the record will end.
Yes, you demonstrated all that.
And when the arm comes over, it will make contact. First here, exploding one squib, and then here, exploding the second.
But the body fell between the two shots.
Yes, sir. That's where the killer has to take a very big chance. The dictionary has a line here dividing it in half so that it can be balanced on the edge. You see, sir? Like this.
Clever, but too unpredictable.
Important for the illusion, sir.
Sound of the body falling.
You've got it.
But impossible to time.
But this killer is very smart, sir.
Can he make the book fall between the two shots?
Oh, yes.
How? Triggered by what?
I'll show you.
He would have to be a genius.
I think so, too, sir. Now, I don't mean to imply that I thought of this all by myself. I mean, some of the smartest people in the world are right here in this club, and they help me, sir. They help me a lot.
Dunces, the lot of them.
Mr. Danziger, the president of the club, you wouldn't call him a dunce.
Oh, wouldn't I?
Well, it was his idea, the book, the vibrations.
Vibrations? What are you talking about?
The first squib, sir. He really made it sound very simple. When the squib goes off, it produces vibrations, and that knocks the book down. That Danzinger's a genius.
Vibrations, that nitwit. The man who conceived all this, you made him out to be a bungling ass. No!
This is what he would have done. This!
There! There! Oh, my. Oh, my.
Lieutenant, somebody just took a shot at Mr. Hayward.
Yeah, I heard. Now, I told Rojas to forget about surrounding the building because the guy that fired that shot is still in this room.
What?
What's he talking about?
It's all right, everybody.
Huh?
He means me.
You?
Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
It's just as I figured. It's exactly what I thought you'd say.
I fired the shot. Is that it? Lieutenant Columbo, was there a gun in this room?
I wouldn't say so, sir, no.
I mean, would you concede there's no gun in the room?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me show you something. Is this a bullet hole in the glass?
Yes, sir.
Would you say it was fired at an angle, calculated to hit a victim in the head here, seated at the phone in this chair?
Yes, sir.
And would you say that having failed to hit the intended victim, the trajectory indicates that this hole in the wall was caused by the spent bullet?
Yes, sir.
Would you further concede that if this bullet proves to be from the same gun that killed Harry Stone, that the same hand fired both shots?
Yes, sir.
Then all that remains for you is to dig the bullet out of the wall and take it to ballistics for a comparison.
No, sir. I've already dug the bullet out of the wall, and ballistics has already verified that it came from the same gun. Here's the bullet. Here's the ballistics report. No bullet in the wall. Bullet's right here. It's in my handkerchief. Yeah, there she is. You see, sir, this afternoon when you told Sergeant Vernon that you were going to come in here to make some private telephone calls, I was over there in the press room. Now, this room is 615 and the press room is 616. When you call from here, it lights up over there because you installed that special three-way rotary system. So I kept watching the phone for 615 to light up. Here, it's lit up now. You see that? I kept waiting for that button to light up. Never lit up. I didn't know what the hell you were doing here. I knew you weren't making a call. And I confess I got curious. And when you and your wife, when you went to vote, I took advantage of that opportunity to come in here and look around. And I found that bullet hole in the glass door, and that took me to the wall. I dug this bullet out of that wall 3 hours before you said that somebody fired it at you 3 minutes ago. You're under arrest, sir. At first, I thought Mr. Caldwell was responsible, but that didn't work out because of the nightgown business. And then the next night when your wife was killed and you had that terrific alibi, then it suddenly hit me. You were in it together and you're trying to blame Artie Jessup. And the truth is that Jessup was nowhere near either house either night.
Commissioner. He wasn't, huh? All right, how do you explain these? Janice Caldwell's jewels.
I can explain it. You took them from the Caldwell house, you hid them, and today you planted them here to incriminate Mr. Jessup.
You're crazy. You can't prove anything like that.
Sergeant Randall? Here, sir.
You. Commissioner Halpin says he found those jewels under your mattress.
That's crazy.
You're a liar.
Hey, I don't even live here.
What?
I can verify that. He doesn't live here. I live here. These are my shirts. That's my underwear. My brother-in-law. It's my nephew, my niece. I haven't lived there long. Just moved in. You see, the apartment was vacant for 3 weeks. I just signed the lease. You looked in the closet. Those were my pajamas and my bathrobe.
The file folder, the report on the desk.
Yes, sir, I'll have to take responsibility for that. You see, I persuaded Mr. Jessup to telephone Mr. Caldwell, knowing that Caldwell would contact you. I was sure that once you knew the true identity of the burglar, you'd try and incriminate him. So this morning, very early, just after I signed the lease, I made up a new file folder on Mr. Jessup. Everything was the same, except this address. Only one person beside myself knew this address. That was you, sir. That's all. I think once your friend, Mr. Caldwell, understands the situation, he'll fill in some missing pieces. So if Mrs. Matthews is convicted, you're next in line. Everything goes to you. That's why you planted the gun. And that's why you planted the wrapping paper. And that's why you planted these paintings.
Dale, I can't believe it.
Now, but you'd like to, wouldn't you? Get you right off the hook. All right, Lieutenant. You claim that I planted these paintings? Suppose you prove it.
Can we?
Yeah.
Yeah. With fingerprints.
Sorry to disappoint you, Lieutenant. Fingerprints won't help you at all. My fingerprints are all over those paintings. My uncle and I unwrapped them when they came back from the exhibit. I told you, didn't I? I told you myself. They're covered with my prints.
No, we're not looking for your prints.
What?
Do you remember the time that I was in your apartment and you came in with some paintings and you said that they were watercolors and you wanted to evaluate them? And remember, I wanted to see them and you wouldn't let me? And I even touched them?
You touched them?
Yes, my fingerprints are on those paintings. Now, if Mrs. Matthews is guilty, how could my fingerprints get on paintings that she stole?
This is entrapment. It's a setup, that's all. You touched those paintings just now while I wasn't looking. You saw him do it, didn't you? You put your prints on those paintings while you were bent over watching them when they were working on it. He touched them. You.
Just one more thing.